July 2nd of this year, a month and a week or so ago, a lady by the name of Stephanie Headley in Ottawa, Canada, was pondering how much time she had left on this planet, on this plane in her life. She knew that it was not measured in years that she had left. It was at best months and perhaps even weeks that she had left. She has been battling a rare neurological condition that made all of her organs, including her skin, become hard and rigid. So when her heart would become hard and rigid, it could no longer pump blood. There had been no cure for this. It was fatal 100% of the time, and she'd been battling this for 12 years. Earlier this year, she had discovered that a physician in Chicago had come up with a new stem cell procedure to apply to this condition, and it had a success rate of over 80%. For 12 years, Stephanie Headley had held out hope. For 12 years, Stephanie Headley had known her own wholeness. She had known her own health. She held to it and did not waver from it. The problem with this new stem cell procedure was its cost. It's over $125,000. Now, I don't know how all the social media works. You guys know this far better than I do, but she set up a fundraising thing through Facebook or on the internet. I think it's called Fund Me or something like that. And she had raised a few $1,000s, but nowhere near what it would cost for the stem cell procedure. And that's why on July 2nd, she was pondering if perhaps she might not be able to make it. But on July 3rd, the very next day, she got a strange call. It sounded like the man on the other end was trying to disguise his voice or something, but he said that he wanted to make a donation. And she said, that would be great. I'd love to have a donation. He said that he would be by with a cashier's check. And she knew that was unusual. Most of her donations had been in the $5 and $10 category, not in cashier's checks. So she had an idea that it might be bigger. So she wrote out a thank you card. And in about 10 minutes, she got a knock on the door, and there was a man with a trench coat sealed all the way up, had a big wide-brimmed hat pulled down so you couldn't see his face. He had on dark glasses, the kind that, skiers wear that wrap around. This was all obviously to disguise who he was, and he handed her an envelope. And she said, thank you, and she handed him her thank you card. And as he started to weigh, she was prompted, and she said, God bless you. And with that, he turned around and smiled. He gave her a big smile. And she went back in, she opened the envelope and looked down and could not believe her eyes. She thought that perhaps the decimal was in the wrong place, and she looked again, and there was a cashier's check for $128,000. The cost of her stem cell operation. This is an example of how the law of attraction can benefit us in our lives. Well, good morning. Heather already introduced me. My name is Don Fleming. I am a minister with the Centers for Spiritual Living. It is indeed a great honor for me to be here today. I am well aware how most ministers are very, very protective of their pulpits. Most ministers do not relinquish their pulpit readily, and they do not entrust their congregation to just anyone. So, huge thank you, Heather, and to Reverend Rachel for inviting me here today, and I promise to do my best. You're going to have to help me with some of the ritual, but so I don't start too early, or you can help me through it. We'll figure it out. But thank you very, very much for coming here today, and what an honor it is to be here. The title of my talk today is When the Law of Attraction Doesn't Work. I think most of us are familiar with the concept of the law of attraction, and simply stated is that we attract into our lives, into our experiences, that with which we focus our attention. The sacred reading hit it perfectly. Old Eric Butterworth. It is a great idea that you will encounter again and again on your quest. You are a living magnet, constantly drawing to you the things, the people, and the circumstances which are in accord with your thoughts. That is the law of attraction. And there are those of us who believe that there are spiritual or metaphysical laws that are just as accurate, just as infallible as physical laws. That there are laws that are exactly as infallible as the law of gravity. Only they're spiritual laws. They are in the unseen, the not visible realm. And one of those is indeed the law of attraction. So if this law of attraction is immutable, if it is positive, it works all the time no matter what, why do we end up with things in our lives that we don't like, that we don't want? That we end up with lack and limitation and fear. And I submit to you that the reason for that is not that the law of attraction doesn't work. It's because we are focusing our attention on that which we don't want. Biggest reason for that is worry. Worry is like inviting exactly what you don't want into your life. We are taught at an early age to resist change. We are taught to be afraid of strangers. If someone approaches us on the street, we are taught to back off. We're taught, don't talk to strangers, particularly if they are from a different ethnic background. Whoa, we can't have strangers around. Change is scary. We're taught that change is scary and that the unknown is a bad thing. There's a blogger that I read fairly frequently. Her name is Melody Fletcher, and she writes a lot on the law of attraction. And she wrote, "In short, we are, not by nature but by training, a negatively focused people. We expect things to go badly, especially if we are not sure what it is going to happen." And we're trained from when we're little to expect things that we do not want, that we do not know. A friend of mine has a retriever, and she is the sweetest dog. She was pregnant with a litter of puppies, and she got hit by a car, and she was paralyzed from about the middle of her back. And she has made a full recovery. That is another sermon in itself. What a story that is. It is so powerful. But after she was hit by this car, she was paralyzed, and everywhere she went, she would pull herself with her front paws and would drag her back legs behind her. Well, she successfully delivered the puppies, and she nursed them, and as the puppies started to get up and walk and move and crawl, the puppies pulled with their front feet and dragged their hind legs behind them.
Yeah, that's what they do.
The owner thought that maybe the puppies were hurt in the car wreck as well, and he took the puppies to the vet. The vet said, no, they're fine. But you see, the puppies learned from their mother that that's how they were to move. That's how they were supposed to motate in the world, was to pull with their front paws and drag their legs behind them. Now, they eventually got over that, but that was their initial reaction, and we are a lot like that. We get it programmed into our heads that we are not good enough. We get it programmed into our heads that we can't do that. Okay, Mama was an alcoholic, I'm going to be an alcoholic, and that's what it's going to be. There is no other way out. You know, Daddy wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. I can't ever get that promotion. I can't go to college. I'm not smart enough. And we buy into it and we believe it. I've talked about the law of gravity and the law of attraction. Well, the law of attraction is very, very much like the law of gravity. And it works almost exactly the same way. Let's talk about some planets. For we know that the planets out there have a gravitational pull, just as does the law of attraction. We have this giant planet that's a few further out from us, Jupiter. It is huge, and it has a gravitational pull 2.5 times that of Earth. You think I'm overweight here at 200? There I'd be 450. But then we have this little planet that's closer to the sun, Mercury, and it's a lot smaller. There, instead of 200, I'd only be 20 pounds. It has a gravitational pull that is significantly less, 1/10 that of Earth. And that's what we do with our thoughts. When we place all of our thoughts on those negative things, when all of our thoughts go into fear, we are feeding the planet fear. When we occasionally think about the good things that we want, we place a little bit of energy on planet awesome over here. And as what I want to do today is to help you shift your attention from planet fear to planet awesome. Why don't we try and grow our planet awesome and let our planet fear shrink away? And I love the ritual here. It's perfect. We have the stones. That's exactly what this ritual is all about. We are releasing that which no longer serves us. We are shrinking our planet fear. And at the same time, we can focus on that which we desire more of in our life. We can put that attention on our planet awesome. And as our planet awesome grows, our planet fear shrinks. So how do we go about doing that? How do we grow planet awesome? For those of you that have listened to me talk before, I'm all about practical steps that we can take to make this happen. So I have 3 steps. The first thing is expect things to go well. Anticipate your good. If we go to it with worry and fear, that's what we're giving the energy to. Take it away. Expect things to turn out the way that you want. Second thing is dedicate 20 minutes every day to focus on positive things. It can be anything. Doesn't have to be sitting in meditation, chanting, or om. You can do the simple everyday tasks, but do them mindfully and do them with the anticipation of inner joy. We had a meditation retreat this spring, and what I came away from that was I quit multitasking. I'm not a good multitasker to start with, but I would always do things. I'd have the TV on while I folded clothes. I'd have the radio on while I'm doing dishes. I stopped all of that. I wash the dishes very mindfully now, and it brings something greater to that. No TV while I fold the clothes. I focus on folding the clothes. My underwear's neater, and I feel a lot better about it. And Ann likes it too. 20 minutes a day devoted to positive thoughts and good outcomes. And the third thing to do is to celebrate and give gratitude for even the smallest of demonstrations. It is when we're giving gratitude, even for the tiniest things, that we make that shift and take that attention away from planet fear and start putting it on planet awesome. Maybe it's just a flower at the side of the road. It can be any tiny little thing. Awesome. That's planet awesome right there in front of us. What I want everyone to take away today is an awareness that the law of attraction always works. It never is suspended any more than the law of gravity is suspended. And you can change how you experience what we have, what the life that you go through, by changing your focus and your attention from planet fear and placing it on planet awesome. And so with that idea in mind, let us just simply recognize that power of the universe, that infinite intelligence, the creative force of the universe, is operating through and as each and every one of us at every moment. And it only behooves us to step aside, to get our bloated nothingness out of the way and allow that divine current to flow through us. I speak my word now for anyone who is experiencing a health issue, knowing that around the corner there is that check. There is that stem cell research. Knowing that your inner perfection is there. That deep within each and every cell of your body, there is an intelligence that knows how to divide and how to be and how to create. That same intelligence which created the universe has created you and can certainly heal you. And so I just call forth that healing now. I also speak my word for anyone who is experiencing a challenge with prosperity and abundance, knowing that we live in a universe that is so vast, so huge, and it is ours if only we can accept it. I also speak my word for anyone who is facing relationship challenges, knowing that as we live and move and have our being, we interact with other beings, and there can be the appearance of discord. But we know that divine force, which is at the heart of each and every one of us, is a force of love more than anything else. And so as we interact with other humans in every way, whether it be a romantic relationship, whether it be a relationship at work, a family relationship, the fact is that it's God loving God. And we set aside all appearances of discord and allow God's love to shine. And so I just give thanks. I give thanks for the awareness of the presence of God's love. I give thanks for that blueprint of perfection that is perfect health. And I give thanks for all of the abundance and prosperity in the universe.